Hey church, hope you're doing well. 5 in Philippi. All I want to do here today is do 3 summary thoughts on chapter 3 for 5 in Philippi. So 3 summary thoughts on chapter 3 for 5 in Philippi. So a lot of numbers there. First, you're not enough. Second, you haven't arrived yet. And 3, there are always things that will trip you up. There are always things that will trip you up. Number 1, you're not enough. What a popular mantra that we tend to want to believe and teach it to our children. It's you are enough. But Paul is saying here at the end of chapter 3, you're not enough. You're not enough. And verse 9 of chapter 3, he's going to say you had to be given a free gift of righteousness. You couldn't get it. You had to be given faith because you couldn't find it on your own. And then he's going to say, now that you're saved, now that you're secure in salvation, you can strain forward and move forward deeper into your faith. Why? Because you're not enough. You're not enough. And so here's what that does. That allows you and I to just rest in the fact that we aren't enough and enjoy the freedom to pursue the one who is enough. We need to talk about enough during our quarantine. What is enough for you? Who is enough for you? Next, you and I aren't supposed to have arrived yet. And again, that's why Paul says that he presses on, that he moves forward, that he strains and struggles and sweats. The Christian life isn't supposed to be easy. It's not surprising that there's sweat involved in the Christian life, that we have to push through some things that we don't really want to do or run and flee temptation. Paul's not surprised by that. And he encourages the church by just the model that he gives. We need one another. I'm not going to expect you to have arrived, and you're not going to expect that I have arrived. We haven't arrived. Nobody has arrived. And yet, we need to follow one another's example. We need to understand our examples. We need community during this time, especially. We understand that, man, isolation is not what we are after here. And so we haven't arrived yet. And we need to push on and push forward. If you are already saved in Jesus Christ, you push on and you press forward, knowing that you haven't arrived yet. And then finally, there are always issues. You know this. Practically every day, there are always issues that are going to hold you up, that are going to slow you up, that are going to stumble. And then when you stumble, when you're anxious, when you're fearful, when you find your heart full of anger and bitterness and greed, when that happens, here's where I struggle. Here's where I go. I resort to the fact I want to tell myself, listen, you are enough. You are enough. You have to have arrived. But that's a lie. I'm not enough and I haven't arrived. But there's one who has arrived, who is perfect and complete, and that's who I want to go to, not myself. Not myself. What are those issues? That is why Paul says, I've got to forget what lies behind and I've got to focus. I've got to zero in. What is your goal? Paul talks about a goal, the prize, the gain. What is that for you? What is that? If everything else could be taken away from you, what is it? What is your gain? What is your gain for your family during this time? What is your goal for your family? If there could just be one thing that comes out of this, what would it be? Listen, you're not enough. He is. You haven't arrived. He has arrived. He will finish what he started in you, whether you're quarantined or not. And there's always things that will trip you up. Let's fight them together. Love you, church.